Welcome to News from the Crabby Coffee Shop with your host, Dawn McLean, from the adventures of Bradley and Dawn on My Talk 1071, Garage Logic's newsman, Mr. FYI, John Haidt, and the crabbiest guy in the coffee shop, Kenny Olson.
Basketball sucks. Seriously. It's the worst game ever invented. But when it was invented, the first basketball game ever played was really, really cool. And we should have stuck with that formula. Dawn, we're going to talk sports here just briefly, just so I can talk about how much basketball sucks. It was invented by some jerk named Naismith. John Hillman?
Yes.
Naismith.
Yep. Correct.
And I discovered, I guess I knew that, and I knew it had something to do with peach baskets and blah, blah, boring, blah, blah, blah. And I've become addicted to these history YouTube pages. And one of these history things I'm addicted to, they've been playing old interviews with guys from the 30s talking about life in the 1800s, right? Mm-hmm. And so after ignoring this one clip for weeks, I finally clicked on it, and it was an interview with the jerk that invented basketball. And Dawn, I was so delighted. So we're going to play that audio so you can figure out why I was so delighted.
Okay, good.
Go ahead, Ross.
Sanka Coffee has brought him here tonight all the way from Lawrence, Kansas.
Good.
Dr. James A. Naismith, the inventor of basketball. Dr. Naismith, how did you happen to invent basketball?
Well, Mr. Heater, in the winter of 1891, when I was physical instructor at Springfield College in Massachusetts, we had a real New England blizzard. For days, the students couldn't go outdoors, so they began roughhousing in the halls.
Roughhousing.
We tried everything to keep them quiet. We tried playing a modified form of football in the gymnasium, but they got bored with that. Something had to be done. One day I had an idea. I called the boys to the gym, divided them up into teams of 9, and gave them an old soccer ball. I showed them 2 peach baskets I'd nailed up at each end of the gym. And I told them the idea was to throw the ball into the opposing team's peach basket. I blew a whistle, and the first game of basketball began.
And what rules did you have for your new game, Dr. Naismith?
Well, I didn't have enough, and that's where I made my big mistake. The boys began tackling, kicking, and punching in the clinches. They ended up in a free-for-all in the middle of the gym floor. Before I could pull them apart, one boy was knocked out, several of them had black eyes, and one had a dislocated shoulder. It certainly was murder. Well, after that first match, I was afraid they'd kill each other, but they kept nagging me to let them play again. So I made up some more rules.
Yeah.
The most important one was that there should be no running with the ball. That stopped tackling and slugging. We tried out the game with those rules, and we didn't have one casualty. We had a fine, clean sport.
And so ended my interest.
Later,
You can kill that. I'm done. I'm done. And they interviewed him.
From?
Huh?
What year was that from?
Ross, does it say?
1939.
Okay.
And it was in front of some big basketball game. What we played in New York between somebody and somebody, and I just don't enjoy basketball. I think it's a stupid sport. And one of the rules he made up there on day 2, ironically enough, they barely enforced that rule. Traveling.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I hate basketball.
Yeah,
and the 3-point
it doesn't apply
shot.
to some people.
Yeah, some people it doesn't apply to, but think about how popular it would be if Charles Barkley could have punched Michael Jordan right in the face. Oh my God, that would have been so good. Or who's the angry guy from Boston? Larry Bird.
Oh.
Larry Bird.
Yeah, and he did actually fight a lot.
Yeah. The 80s were full of fights, Ken. You should have liked basketball in the 80s.
I actually had a chance in the 90s when I was working at the Fan where I did get to go to a lot of basketball games. So I saw a lot of the greats in the 90s, but I never did witness a fight. And that is absolutely what's missing from basketball right now, fights. And baseball for that matter, too, although I do enjoy baseball. But there is nothing better than a bench-clearing brawl in baseball where these sissies slap fight each other to death. It's so fun. It's so fun. Anyway, that's
Kenny,
all I had.
I have the feeling you really don't like these sports at all. You just want to see people fighting.
Johnny, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I love hockey fights. They're just the greatest. It's just the greatest ever. A couple of weeks ago when our guy...
Makes my point.
When Fleury, there was some kind of big brawl on the ice, and Fleury skated down to the other goaltender, and he wanted to go. And the goaltender, for whoever the hell we were playing, wanted to go too, but the refs stepped between them.
Yeah, but the best part of that was the audio.
Yeah.
You saw the audio the next day. Fleury went to get his helmet. I hate it when my hair's like this.
What? Oh, no.
Don, you were a cheerleader, right? For a while?
Just high school, yeah.
Yeah. What sport?
Well, it was a small school, so all of them.
All of them.
But I hated cheering for basketball because you're always in danger of being, run into, and then your legs are up in the air in the stands. I mean, that literally happened to me once, where it's like I got tackled, and then I'm like upside down with this sweaty guy on top of me in the stands. I'm like, you get a concussion, and like you're always like trying to jump out of the way because they go out of bounds, and if you don't have a huge gym. Yeah. So anyway, I loved football, cheering for football the best. But I went to a lot of games when I worked for Gatorade, and then for a small period of time after Gatorade ended, I got hired for the Dallas Mavericks, those hype teams where they come out and, hype up the crowd and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they go to appearances, not the cheerleaders, but people that, like, do the games and all kinds of stuff like that. I manage them. So
did we just learn another job of Don McLean?
I think so.
I think we did.
Did you ever have any designs or intent to be a professional cheerleader?
No, I wasn't. I didn't do gymnastics growing up, and you kind of have to be a gymnast as well if you want to go far, or even into college cheerleading. You have to be a gymnast.
Don, I think you would have just crushed as a professional wrestler. You would be so great.
Yeah.
You on the mic would just be, you'd be the best.
Yeah.
You'd be so good at it.
I just need to take some steroids.
The best part of professional wrestling, grappling, is the interviews. I couldn't care less about the action in the ring. It's the interviews.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
what makes it so good. So for basketball, you had the short skirts and the bloomers.
Yeah. Yep. And cheerleading too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they called them, John. Bloomers, right?
I know.
Yeah. We call them greenies because they were green. Yeah.
Oh.
But
and then they had a little Irish on the butt.
Oh, they
did. We're the Fighting Irish. After Notre Dame, it's the same logo and everything because I went to a Catholic school.
But they prevented, the rest of us from seeing the promised land.
Yeah, no, those are like a 1950s bathing suit underneath there.
Yeah.
They're very modest. Even though you feel like, ooh, look, under her skirt, it's like, go to the beach. You're going to see a lot more,
there.
even in the 50s.
Hey, when you're a high school kid, Don,
Yeah, it's all you can.
I mean, when your main source of entertainment is the Sears catalog, that's so I want to do a quick update here on the two groups of people we're following. First, the three old guys. As of April 4th, they had stopped after what looks like the Richardson Mountains. They had some difficulty getting over the top of one of the mountains, and they stumbled into a local, one of the native, we don't call them Native Americans, what are they called? First Nation people, who was out on his sled out in the middle of nowhere on a mountain looking for some friends that he was supposed to guide over the pass, and he stumbled into these guys, and he literally saved their bacon and brought them to safety. And it's been kind of the story that's played out again and again for these guys. They've now got about 4,500, up to 5,000 miles so far, and they are on the final run. But time and time again, the First Nations, I just call them the locals, have saved their bacon, and it's been pretty cool. It's really fascinating. And I think without these First Nation people, I don't think they would have made it, to be honest with you. But right now they're waiting for some parts to be airlifted in. They burned out some clutches and stuff like that, so they're getting them delivered. And then it's only going to be a matter of 2 days or more, and they will be at their destination in Alaska. It's Fairbanks, right? I think it is.
Yes, looks like it. Yeah, from their Facebook page. Yeah.
So their trip is almost over, and I'm a little raw that the people, their support people back in the States here, have granted interviews to virtually everybody else but us, including a sports outdoor writer here for the Star Tribune. So that kind of bugs me, but I'm just going to swallow my pride and not call them what I want to call them.
Oh boy.
The other one is our badass buddy Bridget McCutcheon. Yeah. Who yesterday got on a plane in South America and flew to Spain. And she is now in Spain, probably sleeping off her jet lag. And I don't know when her motorcycle arrives, if it's there already or if she has to wait for it. But that's a pretty big milestone for Bridget.
Yes.
She
fantastic.
She hit her goals in South America. And so now she's on to Spain, and now it should get really, really interesting.
This is the part that makes me the most nervous.
Yeah, absolutely. She should be fine in Spain.
Yeah, and through Europe. It's just like, when we start getting into Iran, that's where I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep your helmet on, Bridget.
Yeah,
maybe that'll help.
But stopping it, the rules there are just whatever they want to do, right? Like if they don't want you to go forward, then they'll be like, no.
Right. And is she going to have enough bribe money with?
It was always my hope we would build up so much media behind this that if you were in Russian government and Iranian government or any adversarial governments, you would say there's too much attention on this to mess with.
Well, you'd have to get in touch with the local motorcycle clubs. I'm sure they're everywhere around the world. That's what would make a difference.
Absolutely.
Is to say, let her through. We're a bunch of
we're supporting
Russian,
this. We're a bunch of Russian motorcyclists.
I don't know if they're doing that anymore right now, but
she needs the badass version, though. Is there a Hell's Angels chapter in Iran?
I think they're called Putin's Angels.
No, they wouldn't
in
be
Iran.
They wouldn't be for any sort of government, that's for sure. But I've known some angels, and they've been really, really helpful.
Absolutely.
And actually, during the riots in Minneapolis, they were extremely helpful in protecting a few buildings in South Minneapolis. It was pretty cool because no matter how angry you are or what side of the political aisle you're on, you don't mess with an angel.
No, you go,
you just don't. Yeah, okay.
Those guys I remember those guys from the 60s.
They take care of business, and I don't want to be the business they take care of.
No.
So we've got those two updates out of the way. And then I've got a little bit of a fun topic that we can talk about here coming up in the next few minutes.
We'll be back in a minute. Back. Don't forget it. Don't you go away. You just stay right there. Don't you go away. You just stay right there. We'll be back.
You know I'm ice cold. Never want to be afraid to let the dice roll. I like my chances even when my eyes closed.
Okay, instead of keeping secrets from listeners, Ross, try to explain to the listeners what you explained to us beforehand regarding the break. Some people may hear breaks, some people may not, correct?
Yeah, correct. The way national advertising works in 90+% of podcasts are you serve people based on impressions, where they're at, how many impressions companies are buying, yada, yada.
All right.
So you have to take a fake break.
Yeah, so we just want to make it clear. Some of you may have heard something, some of you may have not.
But everybody heard John singing.
I was going to say, so if we didn't take a break, I just sound like a dork.
Nah, they'll know. They're getting they have a premium membership. They're like, I didn't have to listen to that.
That was the first time I've smiled all day. Hopefully it's the last too.
I love that, Kenny, you asked me to do something you knew I couldn't possibly explain just so you could tell me to shut up.
Shut up, Ross. John, did you have a nickname in high school?
No. I don't think so. Skinny Mini.
Skinny Mini?
Yeah.
Would you be offended if I called you a puke? And from now on, instead of calling you McLean,
No,
I just
whatever.
referred to you as puke? Hey, puke.
I'm fine with it.
Oh.
Let me explain.
Okay.
Email from Bert. I'm reading a book called Made in America by Bill Bryson. It's about various aspects of American English. Part of the book covers place names, and the author touches on state nicknames. He points out for a number of years in the 19th century, Dawn's dirty old Missouri was widely known as the Puke State.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Mr. Bryson does not cite a reference, but I'm sure he did his homework. I don't know why it was called the Puke State. I don't wish to hop down that bunny trail. Now we know it as the Show Me State. And he wants to know, Dawn, is that because our friends in Missouri are dim-witted or need to be shown, or is it their innate skepticism that causes them to say, show me? Why the Show Me State for dirty old Missouri? Do you know?
Well, it had to do with buying land. The people that settled there, there'd been this controversy where people were going out west and they were promised land, and then they got there and it didn't exist. So the people in Missouri were like, show me the land and then I'll pay.
Okay.
So that's no BS, man.
That
you don't want to
makes
get
sense.
swindled.
Right. And then, of course, I had to look up the Puke State, Missouri, the Puke
I
State.
don't know why it's the Puke State, though.
Put it in the Google. It had been observed that in the lower lead mines in Missouri, they had sent up to Galena country.
Galena,
whole hordes of uncouth ruffians, from which it was inferred that Missouri had taken a puke and had vomited forth the upper lead mines.
Wow.
But whatever that means, it has to do with mining, evidently.
Okay.
So that got me thinking about all the nicknames of states across America. Can you name some of the, like, what's Minnesota's nickname?
Me? Are you saying just me?
Oh, no, everybody.
Oh, Minnesota.
I don't know a nickname. All I know
Hunker
is
down.
the slogan.
Yeah.
The
The North
land.
Star State,
Yeah, or the Gopher State, right?
Gopher State,
What's the official name?
10,000 Lakes.
Land of 10,000 Lakes. That's
Yeah,
how-
that's what
land
I
of-
would have said, but I know that that's not right.
So then I started going through these state names, and I thought maybe we should assign our own nicknames to them. Like Alabama could be called Alabama the Beautiful, or I don't know about this one, Cotton Plantation State, the Cotton State, the Lizard State, Sweet Home Alabama, Yellowhammer State. What do you think of when you think Alabama?
super hot. Like, it's very...
Hot as F, hot AF State.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
good.
Yeah.
Hot AF State.
Alaska, the Midnight Sun, the land of the noonday moon, the last frontier.
Last Frontier.
Yeah, Last Frontier.
Well, what should it be?
Last Frontier.
You like that?
Yeah.
Where everybody goes to hide from the government.
Oh, yeah. Criminals galore.
Yeah, I would think, anything goes. The anything goes state,
Oh,
right?
anything goes.
Yeah.
I like
Anything
that.
goes. Yeah. The women are what? It's like 10 to 1, men to women.
Oh, really?
Is it really?
It's something like that. So if you
Oh.
want to find a man, go to Alaska. Just be sure to run a background check.
Don, what state is 10 to 1 women to men? That's where I need to go.
The state of euphoria.
Arizona, the Grand Canyon state. I can't come up with anything for
No,
Arizona.
that's perfect, yeah.
Arkansas, Bear State. Where the hell do they get that? They're bear.
No idea.
Are they referring to gentlemen?
Yeah.
Bear.
Oh.
That's what they're referring to.
In
So I have
Arkansas?
permission. I have permission to make fun of Arkansas because that's what Missouri people do. Like, you know how you guys make fun of Wisconsin.
Sure. I have people in Arkansas,
Okay,
so we can
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
make
It's
fun
really
of
you can really tell when you cross over the border into Arkansas.
them. Is it
Well,
the dental work, or what is it?
It is. It's just they just don't have a great school system. It's a very poor state. Yeah, a lot of shacks. Like, seriously, you'll be like, what? People live in there? What?
Yeah.
Tar
Yeah,
paper
shanty
shacks.
towns. It's just like real hillbilly.
The first time I ever drove through Arkansas, and I'd been, up here all my life, Minnesota, North Dakota, and I started seeing all these little, I guess they were houses,
Yeah.
almost built into the the cliffs and the mountains, and it looked like it was 1858.
Yes,
That's what it looked like.
Yes, and a lot of crap in people's yards. You're like, I know you've got this little tiny house, but anybody can pick up crap in their yard. Don't make it like a mini junkyard. Like, have some self-worth, Arkansas.
There goes that
there I
Missouri
go.
person.
Yeah.
California, El Dorado State, the Golden State, the left coast. They're just a bunch of commies.
Leave
That's
if you can. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Get out now.
Get out now.
Get out now, state.
Run like hell, state. We've on GL this week for one reason alone. We've been talking about West Virginia. What's the name of that family, John? Do you remember?
The wonderful whites of West Virginia.
The
Whitakers. Do you know about the Whitakers in West Virginia, Dawn? It's a YouTube documentary, and there's a family known as the Whitakers, and they've been inbreeding since the beginning of time.
Great.
And they crawl around on all fours.
What?
And communicate in barks.
I need to watch this immediately. I gotta go, you guys. I gotta
Just put
go.
Whitaker family into YouTube.
In
You'll
YouTube?
find it.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever I'm definitely interested in that, but have you seen the wonderful whites of West Virginia or something? It's like a Hatfield and McCoy situation.
Oh,
and
really?
They are I mean, they're criminals. They have a history of being criminals for a long time, and everybody ends up going to jail, and it's insane. Meth and just like the crappiest,
Did you know
trashiest.
West Virginia was part of the Union during the Civil War? I'm surprised we allowed them in.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
my
opted
gosh.
to go with the Union, and that's why they separated from Virginia, evidently.
Okay.
But have you ever been to West Virginia?
No, I've driven through.
It's absolutely gorgeous, but never, ever, ever, for any reason, get off the freeway, because you're immediately thrown into just the worst hillbilly backwoods swamp water scary situation. We decided one time we were going through just to pull off the freeway and go for a little drive through some mountains. I think we made it about 3 miles off the freeway, and it was a panic U-turn and a high-speed run back to the freeway. So if you ever go through West Virginia, make sure you have like 2 5-gallon cans of gas in the trunk.
Yeah.
So you just pull into a rest area, fill yourself up, keep going. Just
Oh my
don't even get
gosh.
off the freeway in West Virginia.
Oh, I'm looking at this. I'm just. Okay. Wow. I mean, I'm just looking at what I see here from
What do you think?
the pictures.
What
It's
do you
definitely they're legitimately inbred.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for generations and generations.
There's a family tree. There's like a chart. It says the inbred family tree explained.
And they're all moms and sisters
Yeah.
and
Oh, I gotta check
cousins and brothers, and your dad
Yeah.
is your brother, is your
Oh,
cousin.
God help us.
And we had some audio, and they all bark. They yip, and they crawl around on all fours. Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
I do not have the courage to watch that.
No, I don't either.
I don't-
really?
Yeah, no, I don't think I
I'm
can
going to
get through
watch
it.
it more than once, probably.
And I thought
I don't
it would
know
be.
why.
I thought it would be a great idea for a reality show, but truth be told, I can't watch that. I can't. Have you ever watched the show Moonshiners?
Yes.
I can't even get through that.
Oh, no.
No, that's it. And those situations in the Moonshiners, I think, are set up by producers. So they're probably,
sure.
they're probably not as illegal as they make us want to believe. But yeah, I can't even get through that. Anybody that wears bib overalls with no shirt underneath, I check out. I'm just out.
Yeah, doesn't that like chafe your nipples?
You would think. And although I didn't see anybody doing it, the secret for that is putting duct tape on your nipples.
Oh, for God's sake.
But the problem is, Dawn, as a
Because
guy,
you desperately don't want to wear a shirt. I just can't wear a shirt.
Vaseline, too, is what I'm told.
yeah, Vaseline. But the problem with that is if you're a guy, your nipples are hairy. So
Yeah.
before you put on the duct tape, you've got to shave your nips.
Oh, for God's sake.
Seems like a lot of work
deliver
here.
Deliver us from this. God.
Now, if aliens abducted you, though, and gave you new nips, are they more or less hairy? Do we know?
We should check in on that guy, see how he's doing.
I must confess, in the late 70s, I may have worn bibs on occasion without a shirt underneath, but never outside. You know what I mean?
Right,
never
just for the
leave,
ladies inside.
I would get up in the morning and they'd be sitting by the bed because I wore them the night before with a shirt on underneath.
Yeah.
And just threw them on. But
I have a half a dozen pair and I wear them all the time, but I always wear
you wear them to work though, Kenny? I mean, to do stuff around the house. I wore them because I thought they were hip in the 70s.
You were one of those people.
No, I was.
Along with my bad haircut.
I like the country boy, the good old boy looks. And plus, you don't have to worry about pulling up your pants all the time. They're just always pulled up.
There you go.
Very comfortable. Yep.
But have you ever had chafed nipples? It is seriously painful, and you can't stop thinking about it. For a while, I was racing dirt bikes and Duros in the woods. It's like 100 miles through the woods, and you're wearing these really light nylon shirt things.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, your nipples are bleeding. And it seriously hurts like hell.
What?
Yeah.
With a nylon shirt?
Yeah.
I think that
really,
would be like a slick.
Those light jersey type things.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I learned the taping trip. But first, you got to get out the razor and, you know.
This is, wow.
Yeah.
What about a big old Band-Aid? You know, one of those.
Right. That would work. Yeah.
That'd be better.
But duct tape is available everywhere. We all have it. I've got duct tape on my nips right now.
No, you don't.
Want to see?
Prove it.
Okay, so back to states. What do you think the most pompous state in the union is? It's got to be East Coast, right?
Like
Texas.
New Hampshire, Rhode Island, something
you think
like that.
Texas.
Oh,
just
I
because
lived there. It's
don't
so
mess with Texas.
They think that they are so great. Let me tell you, every single person is like, well, here in Texas, you know, and they're like, we're going to secede from the Union at any time. It's in our Constitution. We'll just break away and be our own country. It's like, great. Well, I'm sure everyone would appreciate that, actually.
Don's going to get emails.
It's such an empty threat at this
Come
point,
at me,
by the
bro. Come on, you rednecks.
They only have one official nickname, the Lone Star State. So what should their
Yeah,
nickname?
because they're just they think of themselves as just the Lone Star. Here we are.
So what should we call them? What should their nickname be?
Oh, God.
Jackass State?
Oh, I don't know.
Jackass State.
Too soon to make a Kennedy assassination joke?
No, it's never too soon.
Oh, God. We killed the president?
The state that kills presidents.
The president killers.
Yeah. Good job, Texas. Way to go.
Book depository.
Yeah.
The book depository state.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 shots in your dead state.
Texas, where we deposit more than books.
Both of my sisters live in Austin, Texas, and I have to say, I had fun.
That's a different place. Austin is its own little thing.
Charles Whitman, Austin, Texas,
Yeah,
right? That was his name, right? Whitman?
Yeah, Whitman,
From the, was it Texas A&M? No, it was the college. It's the college in Austin. Mm-hmm. From the tower. And he just started picking them off.
So that's
right.
Baylor, right? Waco? Wasn't that?
No, Waco
it was
was
Austin. But you're right. Waco is famous for the Davidians, Branch Davidians.
Yeah.
A lot of weird stuff in Texas.
Is it SMU maybe? What?
Nut with a gun.
That's in
It's got to
Dallas.
be nut with a gun state.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will
Nuts
shoot
with
you.
guns.
Yeah.
He was at the
Nuts.
University of Texas at Austin.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
From.
Just as you said that, I'm like, well, wait a second. The University of Texas is in Austin, so that's what it has to be.
See, when I asked that question, Dawn, I figured it was going to be somewhere on the East Coast because they're so educated and they were here first and they were part of the original 13, you know, Vermont or New Hampshire or one of those or Massachusetts.
That's my vote is Texas. That's because I experienced it by living there. So I'm like, wow, what's going on here? Why do we automatically all think that we're better than everyone? I don't know. It's a thing. Okay, all right. Yeah, and then I kind of, it's like a lot of pride for the state. And I will admit, when I moved here to Minnesota, I could see some
similarities?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it's kind of like living in Texas. People
Well,
really are proud. That's
so-
fine. I say there's a reason to be proud to live here, though. Texas, I'm not so sure.
There, I admit, because everything I do is based on music, there are more songs from Texas musicians about how great Texas is
Yeah.
than there is any other
Of
state.
course.
Country songs,
Yes.
rock songs, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
More. Many
Wor-
more.
Worse than Sweet Home Chicago. Sweet Home
Oh, there's.
Chicago.
I could give you a list
No,
of
probably
15 right now,
1,000.
I bet,
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
Yeah.
What state is the most racist state in the country?
I don't know.
You got to look at the states in the 50s and 60s that were hanging people like Alabama and
Yeah,
Mississippi.
Alabama.
Yeah.
I was thinking Alabama.
I was thinking Mississippi, Alabama. That's
Yeah. We got the Nina Simone song, Goddamn Mississippi. That's what that was about. We got Neil Young with Alabama. That's what that was about.
And that was answered by what's their name?
Skinner.
Yeah, Skinnerd. And it turns out the guys in Skinnerd and Neil Young became fast friends, right?
Very good friends, yeah.
Yeah, and isn't there a there's a difference between southern Alabama and northern Alabama? Is that true?
One's further north.
Dang it, Don. I was going to make the same joke. Yeah, one's north
one
and
has
one's
a coast
southern.
and the other one doesn't.
Oh, God.
What should Iowa's? Let me look up Iowa. The Hawkeye State. If it were up to me, Iowa would be the state.
Oh, boy.
Kenny, it's the roadkill state. Iowa and Wisconsin have the most roadkill I have ever seen on the road. It's everywhere, especially when the weather's warmer.
Well, I did see hundreds. I talked about Arkansas earlier. Hundreds of armadillos dead on the road.
Now,
In Texas and Arkansas.
what about possums? You can never trust a possum laying there dead because you'll pick him up and the next thing you know, he'll bite your balls
It's
off.
like I'm playing possum.
Yeah. Dawn, when you moved to Minnesota, did you find the Minnesota nice thing to be complete and total BS?
Well, I didn't really understand what it meant. I just thought, oh, people are nice in Minnesota.
Yeah,
But
no.
it means passive aggressiveness.
Yeah.
It means we're nice to your face.
I feel like there's so much passivity. Like, for instance, in the grocery store, when someone's blocking the whole aisle,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong. Like, literally, it's backed up like a road. Like, people are just waiting. And there's people that are so unaware, they're taking up the whole aisle. It's like, look around, be more aware. I have no problem with going past that person and going, oh, excuse me, what's wrong with that? People
Right.
will stand there and wait and just go with their carts, and they're like, oh, boy. This person, like, they don't say, excuse me. There's nothing wrong with that. I did it the other day at Kowalski's. We were trying to come through an aisle, and we didn't even have a cart. We're just walking. This guy's perusing the oatmeal or whatever, some old geezer. And we just walked in front, like, because he was standing back, and, like, there were a lot of people waiting. We just said, excuse me, and walked in front of him, and he threw his hands up in the air. Like, we had, like, assaulted him. He wasn't even grabbing for anything. He was just standing there. We're like, wow, okay. Jeez, sorry, I didn't know you owned this aisle. We're just trying to pass through.
Okay, McLean, answer me this. You're in one of four vehicles that just pulled up at a four-way stop, and you stopped all at the exact same time. And now the four of you are sitting there looking at each other. What does McLean do?
I go.
You're the first one?
I do. Let's get this
Yeah.
going here. I'm
Yeah.
helping you, okay?
Yeah. I used to be the opposite living in Minneapolis, and then one day I just snapped because there's nothing that pisses me off more is that when somebody stops before
And they wave you on.
and they wave you through. There were times when I would put my truck in park and I would put my arms across my chest
Good.
and I would shake my head no just to make those jackasses go. And finally, and nobody ever got the message. And finally, so now I'm the complete opposite. I go right away.
Just
and,
go.
Yeah,
I do too. And I always give a wave, like, thank you, whatever.
No, I don't. I give them this look. Pull the glasses down, look over the
It's
top.
always, it's like
shake
we're in
the
a
head.
war zone every time we drive. There's so much anger.
Can I run
Yeah.
a gubernatorial platform past Dawn? I think, Dawn, you can get behind this. We need to set up shopping times at retail and grocery store.
Yes.
If you're above 70, you can only go in these hour windows. And if you have kids below 13, they can only be in the stores at these hour windows.
Same for movie theaters.
Nothing drives me more crazy at a Costco or Target run than the olds and the kids.
Yeah.
If you're between 18 and 50, you're the only ones that are allowed to shop at the store when I'm there.
Oh my gosh, he's going to cut
we'll
it
go
off at 50.
No, 70.
See, I don't want to. I'll go with the 70-year-olds, please.
What the hell happens to the old women in Fleet Farm when they walk in the door and they just completely stop thinking? They're the only person on the planet.
Yeah.
And they do that all the time. All the time.
They're blocking the aisle is what you mean. Yeah.
And I'll say,
and going super slow?
Yeah. And I'll say, excuse me. And I get no reaction. It's like they're in some other world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're just, the products are just, all the options there.
I'm glad Ross brought up Costco because if you go to Costco when they have the free food, you can grab a taste.
Grandma didn't eat for the day. She goes in to eat.
Yeah, and she'll set her cart. I mean, these are big aisles at Costco, right? But they set their cart sideways over here, and then they go over here to the food and stand in the way, so you can't get through on either side. You have to grab
and
their
it's
cart
just a
and go,
little sample. It's like you're not going to buy these pickles. They should say you can have this sample
if you buy the product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would fly. You know what? I've never been to a Costco. I would fly into a rage and I would put my forearm on the table with all the free samples and I would just clear it all off.
Oh my God. Kenny goes to Costco one time in his life and he's kicked out.
Get out of the way, you old F.
I know we've talked about it on this podcast, but I wish we could plug into like my blood pressure going to Costco, at Costco, and leaving Costco because I am so GD excited to go to Costco because I love it. But the moment I park and walk in the door, my anxiety goes through the roof and everybody makes me angry.
The one good thing about
and then
Costco.
I leave and I'm giddy about everything that I have.
Oh my God.
You should have a spouse that works at a Costco.
Yeah. That's where you need to date. Costco.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Ross.
They have a meal deal there that I think you'd be interested in, Kenny.
Yes.
You get for $1.50, you get a huge hot dog and a drink.
Yep.
Really?
$1.50.
You can get a slice of. Sorry, I won't say it. You can have a slice of pizza,
Thanks for not saying pie.
a hot dog, and a pop for $3.82, Kenny.
But then do you just have to walk around and eat it like
They
you're
have
some sort of
tables. They
Neanderthal?
have tables. They also have ice cream for like $1.
And you can
crazy.
get that stuff without being a member. That's the other exit. You can just walk right in.
I have to admit that kind of makes me mad.
Okay.
I don't.
Everything makes you bad.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Because it's you feel like you're really, eating for free almost. It's great. It's a pretty good hot dog too.
Yeah, everybody loves it.
Yeah, it is.
So that's just part of the plan. You walk into Costco with a list, and one of it is to get a really big wiener.
Yeah.
And then slurp on that in an aisle somewhere.
Slurp on a wiener.
Well then.
I don't know if I'd use that word. Slurp.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot you don't like descriptors like that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well,
any
and-
descriptive words about food, I'm really, it's not great.
And then you add wiener to it.
Yes.
Slurp. That's tough.
Yeah, if it just can be used for eating, I don't like it. It makes me embarrassed. My face gets red. It's like we're talking about, I don't know, like Tops or, drizzle.
Why does Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella, Dawn?
Are you going to give me a joke? What is with this guy today? What? Why does he carry an umbrella?
For drizzle.
Oh, Ross.
Careful
man,
with the
you
Snoop
gotta-
joke. Somebody
you
just
gotta-
got fired for one of those.
That's right.
Can you
Yep.
believe that?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
can't
know
believe
that?
it.
What was the joke?
No.
Did you know ahead of time?
We can't.
No, we can say it
It's
because we
a
said it
weather-
on GL podcast, and if it gets
A
me
weather
fired,
person,
let
a
me
woman.
I'll say it. So if anybody gets in trouble, it's me. For shizzle my nizzle.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a white person on the planet that knows what that means. And I love Snoop before he was a solo artist. I've loved Snoop forever.
Of course, yeah.
And that stupid Doggy Pound album of his, I've worn out 3 of them. Know all the lyrics for all his songs. Had no idea that nizzle was a euphemism for the N-word. No
I didn't either.
No
idea.
Not until that lady got fired.
Yep.
I don't think she should be fired. And I don't want to do politics here, but that's just not fair. We can't help it. We're dumb crackers.
Yeah.
We just don't know that stuff.
Yeah. I don't think it was intentional. Like, she didn't.
No, of course it
No,
wasn't.
she had no idea.
Whenever, when you see the clip, you're like, oh.
Anyway, if somebody wants to protest, my name is Kenny Olson. I work for Hubbard Broadcasting. I'd be more than happy to walk away. But back to Costco.
He really wants it to end.
He's begging for somebody to complain.
Yeah.
Back to Costco. So can you walk out of Costco with just one pack of wieners, or do you have to buy 100 pack?
Well, the pack is big.
Oh, yeah. Probably 18 would be the. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of bulk things, but like there are a lot of things that are like, all right, I use this all the time. Like those flatbreads that are, it's like a bun, but it's just like very flat. We eat a lot of those for sandwiches. And
like
so we
pitas
get.
or something?
No, it's just like, basically, if you think of a hamburger bun, it's like most of the bread is cut out of it.
Oh.
It's just like flat buns. What are they called, guys? I don't know. Anyway, we buy those and we freeze,
Oh, so
3
they
or 4 packs.
They don't go bad then.
Nah.
Because all I can think of is stuff like toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning, stuff that you're going to need till the end of time. Sure, I'll buy 100 rolls.
They have a huge deli, though, too. They have a great meat section. And like, if you just want to pick up some stuff that you can put on the grill.
So you don't have to walk out of there with like 100 pounds of salad.
No.
And by the way, what's the deal with the salad in the bag that you get at home, and as soon as you get it home, it's all rusty?
Why?
Anyway, that's just
Why?
a sidebar.
Why does that happen? Thank you.
I don't know, but that's
And you look
really,
at the date and you're like, all right, this is good for 5 days. But you're like, no, it isn't.
5 minutes.
But it's liquid already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
You got a date
nasty.
5 days ahead. Yeah.
And is it true you can go to Costco and like get snow blowers and car parts and
Furniture.
parachutes,
Tires.
and all sorts of tires?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like a Fleet Farm kind of, or a Walmart.
Yeah. It's just
And what's it
bulk
cost?
stuff.
What's it cost a year to join?
What is it, 50 bucks?
$100.
100? Oh, yeah.
I think 100 for the big one and
Yeah.
50 for the normal one.
Yeah. And the normal one, what I do, Kenny, and I do believe this pays for itself, the Costco gas is always 20 to 40 cents cheaper.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so it always, I know it covers my membership.
Wait a minute, though. I thought you told me you don't have to be a member.
You don't have to be a member. What you can do is the person wandering around in the gas station, like I did for a year, you say, hey, I forgot my card at home, and they'll get you into the gas tank.
Ask him, Dawn. Ask him. I saw your eyes.
Hey, John, were you wandering around for an entire year?
I worked for a year at Costco.
Oh, you did?
In
Well,
between,
that
when,
was
when
like-
we got canned from
Okay.
the radio station, I was doing the podcast 2 days a week because that's all they wanted me to do it. And then I went and worked part-time at the gas station.
But
at
time
Costco.
Oh,
out,
wow.
John.
That's fun.
That-
that is so fun.
But that's
No,
not
it's not.
actually something that they want people to do. They'll just do it for you, right? So
and
you're
it
saying you
makes-
found a back door to get the cheap gas.
Well, no, I am a member. My wife is an employee there for 20 years almost. So
Oh
we
my
get an
gosh.
automatic membership. However,
What's your discount?
It annoys. We don't get a discount. We get a free membership.
Oh.
But the gas thing drives us. If you're working there, drives you crazy. If you're an employee, you will be very disgusted and make as many snide comments as you can at that person if they say, "I forgot my card."
Oh, okay. Well,
That's what we all did anyway.
Is it hard to set them up without their card? Or is it just you're annoyed
No,
by them?
we carry a card with us.
Yeah.
We stick it in there and off they go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Good to know.
and that's. I don't think that's authorized by Costco, but I'm not employed there anymore. What do I care?
yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, but your wife is.
Yeah,
For now.
she'll be fine.
And she's the main bread earner.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. She'll be fine.
Maybe we should not release this podcast. We've
it'll be fine.
both John and I have said some things that could get us in trouble.
There'll be some post editing. I'll be honest
Can't
about
believe
that.
I'm the only one.
Don, you quick say something that could get you fired. Do it right now.
Kenny wants us all fired.
I'm just so conditioned to not do bad things.
Say a bad word.
Shit.
Thank you. We'll talk to you next week.
It's very natural.
Thanks for listening to News from the Crabby Coffee Shop. New episodes drop every week wherever you get your podcasts.
Just one more thing. Dawn,
Yeah.
what was that podcast you were on?
Oh, it's called The Second Best Podcast, and it's some Crabby Coffee Shop listeners, or at least one of them. It's Tim and Andy, and it's called Second Best Podcast. They had me on to talk about paranormal stuff, so just want to give them a shout out.
How much do they get paid, and do they have more listeners than us?
Oh no, they don't. I don't think they get paid. They're just doing it for fun right now. They'd like to, so
Okay.
give them a listen.
One more time, they're called
Second Best Podcast.
by Tim.
Tim and Andy.
And Andy.
Andy was his realtor. That's how they met. He
Cool.
sold him a house that was somebody had been murdered there. So
All right.
that's how they met.
Look for that wherever you
Wherever you
find.
get your podcasts.
Right. All right. Now we're done.